the most notorious demon in Jewish tradition. In some sources, she is conceived as the original woman. We're going to talk about that a little bit. You'll find out, really, honestly, she is. Created even before Eve. There's no doubt about that. She is often presented as the thief of newborn infants. Vampire, we're going to get into all of that here very shortly. Lilith means the night, and she embodies the emotional and spiritual aspects of darkness, terror, sensuality. We're going to find out all about some sensuality with this girl, and unbridled freedom. More recently, kind of a little, not too far from this present time, she's come to represent the freedom of feminist women and why girls no longer want to be the quote-unquote good girls. They kind of turn to Lilith as their homage to that. And we're going to get into all that here very, very shortly. This is episode 3 of An Education in Horror. We are doing this one, in case you hadn't caught on to it quite yet, exclusively on Lilith. Now, a couple things before we get into this. Some very exciting news on our end. We've been in talks with a website company, and we will have our website fully operational, fully functioning, if everything goes according to plan, hopefully March 1st is what we are looking at right now. Very, very excited about that. Very, very professional company that we're working with. They've done many, 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 many websites. This is nothing new to them. So we're going to have a quality product for you there. We also are investing a little bit more into our actual production value. So one of the things that I wanted to say when we started off with this, while I thought Centrilla was good as far as the content of it, I was not overly impressed with how we presented it to you. So we're working on that. We're trying to make it better. We have a whole new setup here. There's no toys. There's no children's toys in here. There's no dryer signals going off. We've kicked every single motherfucking animal out of the room. There shouldn't be any disturbances between you and me today. So number one, we're trying to improve the quality of what we got going on here. Number 2, website. It's coming March 1st. Very excited about that. Number 3, we talked about it a little bit, and I kind of want to explain why we're doing things the way that we're doing them moving forward. We are Haunted Honeymooners, okay? We will, at gmail.com, Haunted Honeymooners at gmail.com, Facebook page, YouTube, like, subscribe, keep doing those things you've been doing. And by the way, thank you all so much. We have recorded this obviously in the past. Today, when this is aired, it's February 1st. But at this moment in time, right now, we have 527 followers, likes, I believe, on Facebook right now. Thank you all so much. Without your support, again, we said it before, there's absolutely no point in this. I was joking around with Trish. I said, you know, I really like doing this, but if this ever gets to the point that we're just doing this for Frank and Joe, it might be time to call it quits. But I think we're far, far away from it just being Frank and Joe. We got a lot of support from all of you, and we really appreciate it. Michelle, out in California, Jesus Christ, I love you. Likes every single thing we put up for the most part. My God, you're a beautiful woman. I love you. I absolutely love you. Justin, in your wedding, in the catacombs, winning t-shirts with your wedding, man. Congratulations to both you and your beautiful wife. Man, we hope absolutely nothing but the best for both of you in the future. And hell, maybe y'all gonna win some more t-shirts off of us. Who knows? Who knows? Our next big contest is coming up. 666 likes. Hell, by the time this even broadcasts, we're probably already there. We've probably already shipped off another t-shirt to somebody. But we'll talk more about that. Like I said, you've probably already heard about that. This whole future past thing fucks with my head a little bit. So I'm trying to keep up with myself in the future and in the past. And it's confusing, man. It's super, super confusing. But one thing that I did want to talk about a little bit before we get into all this, An Education in Horror is going to be a subscription service. Once the website's launched, it will switch over to that. Why are we doing that? Why are we asking for help with this? Number one, to do a proper presentation of this and to try to continue to grow, this shit is expensive. And it's just not something that we can just do and just offer for free forever. The haunted house reviews, those will always be free on Facebook. We will never ever charge a penny for it. And we're not looking, we're not trying to make a fortune off of this either. We're looking to be able to provide you with a better production, and we're looking to be able to invest more of our time and energy into that. And that means supplementing some of our income with this as well. So we're not asking for a lot or anything like that. We've already talked about it. We're looking at about $5 a month or something like that. And we're trying to give you a quality product in return for that price. So I don't like, and I feel weird even talking about it. I'm not good at selling myself, I guess. And it's awkward for me to talk about it, but it is what it is. For this to continue and for this to get better, we are going to have to eventually switch over to a subscription service, and that's coming down the pipeline. But we're trying to improve it. And we're not just going to throw out, you don't just get this $4 or $5 a month. You're going to get free merchandise. You're going to get the ability to vote on topics. We've already listed out everything for this year, okay? Because as of right now, we have 0 subscribers for a subscription service that doesn't exist yet. So topic voting obviously isn't going to happen yet. But next year, we would like for you all to have a little more input on what we're actually talking about. Maybe even some repeats. If there's some stuff that you like, maybe you want us to expand on. Maybe I fucked the whole thing up and you want me just to try it all over again. Be like, man, you did not give that what it deserved or what it should have been. So we're going to be completely and totally open to our subscribers and everything like that. So that's where we're heading. That's where things are looking. We've already invested some money into this. We're going to invest more money into it. And I don't want you to think for half a second that if you subscribe to us, we're just going to stick your money in our pockets and never do anything with it. The majority of it's going to go right back into this and making this better and being able to take you to more of these places, see more of these things. Obviously, we can't introduce you to Lilith herself. That would be impossible. It would be the shit if we could, but regretfully, that's just not something that we can do. But like with Cinderella and us going up there and stuff like that, we want to be able to take you to these places with us. And regretfully, in today's world, all of that costs money. So we've got to switch it over. That's why we're doing that. But enough of that. I hate selling myself. I'm not good at it. Sorry. It is what it is. But one of our brand new segments that we're about to get into is more in horror. Wow, excuse me. Horror news today coming at you. It's very mellow, isn't it? It's nice, it's relaxing. You feel relaxed right now. Just news. It's just news, nothing scary. Just a little news coming your way. Let them melt it. Okay, there we go. All right, so news and horror. What's going on? We got a couple of Valentine hunts that are coming up. Obviously, we're going to one. We're going to talk about that one a little bit at the end. But I wanted to shoot off a couple that may be in your area, may be near you. There is one that does not get a lot of credit for its consideration in its name, as they have chosen to go with Valentine Haunt in San Francisco, California. I looked this one up online, though. It looks like a killer haunt. You get basically a little cheap-ass Walmart-looking flashlight. Good luck. And that's it. Love Bites. They have several different locations. They are in Akron, Ohio, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Denver, Colorado, Nashville, Tennessee, Portland, Oregon. 13th Floor. If you've ever heard of 13th Floor and their haunted houses and what they do, they are 125% involved in Love Bites. Bloody Valentine in Birmingham, Alabama. Valentine X, Austin, Texas. My Bloody Valentine, Leesburg, Virginia. Fever. Fever looked fucking cool. If you don't know anything about Fever, you need to look Fever up. They're in Plano, Texas. If we could afford to get out to Texas right now, I'm telling you, we'd be going to Plano, Texas to go check out Fever because that shit looks awesome. My Deceased Valentine in Lexington, South Carolina. And the one that we are currently planning on going to, the Haunted Farm in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Very, very excited to check out a Valentine's Day haunt. We love the Christmas haunts that we went to this year. They were very, very cool. Didn't even really honestly know that seasonal haunts existed up until now. And now we're finding out about them, man, and we are diving into them just as hard as we can. And again, I've said it before, anybody that thinks that the haunt world is a dead or dying breed that there's no interest in this. You are living on Mars. You have your head in the sand. No clue as to what's going on with this stuff. Because that little list that I gave there probably isn't even a 16th of what's available just in the United States alone. If I listed off all of them, we would spend the next hour and a half doing nothing but listing off haunts. So I just picked out a few that I really, really liked. I obviously didn't look at every single possible haunt that's out there. But these are a few that I really, really liked. They look great. If they're in your area, go to them. We'll make sure we post up a list of these on a link as well so that y'all can check them out yourself too. We'll make sure we tag all these people in it. That way you can go check out their websites, go check out their Facebook pages, see what they got coming to you as well. Couple movies coming up. Happy Death to You debuts on February 14th, 2019. Us by Jordan Peele is coming out on March 15th, 2019. I'm super excited about that. I never watched his show on Comedy Central, right, Trish?
Key and Peele.
All right. I never really watched that, but I did watch the first horror movie that he did, Get Out, and it was incredible. I didn't expect it from a comedian, but just, wow. I was genuinely blown away by it. It wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen by any stretch, but it was absolutely worth every penny. Very, very good concept, very intriguing. I don't have half of a clue what Us is about, but I'll be there just because I know Jordan Peele's involved with it, and the first movie he came out with was phenomenal. And the last one that we're going to mention, the one that I am super stoked about, Pet Motherfucking Cemeteries, coming out April 5th, redone, Stephen King. I don't know if you saw it. Very well done. Awesome remake of that movie. I think they're going to knock Pet Sematary out of the park from what little clips I've seen of it. That one, we'll be in theaters for it. We very excited about that one. That's going to wrap it up with a moment in horror news. Excuse me there. We're going to jump back into Lilith because that's why we're here and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, who is Lilith? A lot of different stories about Lilith. We're going to get into the majority of those today. We're not going to be able to get into everything involved with her. There is a lot of different stuff with her, a lot of different things she was involved with, everything else like that. But we're going to cover as much of her as we possibly can and make sure that we are doing just as covering it just as broadly as we. Trish keeps smiling at me in the background, and I can never figure out what it is that she's saying or trying to. Oh, that! Holy shit! I didn't know that was going on behind me right there. There it is. That is an Adam and Eve and Lilith three-way, I believe, going on right there. Speaking of Adam and Eve and Lilith three-ways, a little warning before we get into Lilith. This is going to talk about sex a good bit. She's really into it. And I don't bash anybody's beliefs, okay? At all. That's not my goal. I respect your beliefs, no matter how insane or crazy they may seem to me. I don't give a shit if 2 minutes ago you were worshiping Mr. Potato Head. It's perfectly fine to me. Worship the shit out of Mr. Potato Head. It's not for me, specifically. I'm not going to be worshiping Mr. Potato Head anytime soon. My daughter has a Mr. Potato Head. I don't think that he has a lot of deity power. But if you're worshiping Mr. Potato Head or whatever you're worshiping out there, it's perfectly fine with me. If you ain't worshiping shit, it's perfectly fine with me. There's no judgment here. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just don't want, at times, it may seem like there's a little bit of religion bashing going on. Just like with Centrilla, there was times there was a little bit of government bashing going on. That's not the intention. The intention here is to tell the story the best that I possibly can as to what happened with these areas, what happened with these people, what happened with these demons, and everything else that we're going to get into. Now, I'm not going to do this warning before every single one of these, okay? But I just wanted to touch base on it for a second. We're just telling stories here, okay? Our goal is not to offend anybody. I know we just had an Adam and Eve, Lilith three-way picture going on in the background. But that's not our goal. Our goal is not to offend anybody. Our goal is to present these stories as they are presented. And that's something else with Lilith and some of these other ones that we're going to get into. Centrilla was a little easier as far as fact finding and stuff like that. It's got a clear history to it and everything like that. This is folklore. This is story. It's passed down. This is Bible stuff, and there is some contradictions and stuff like that in the Bible. We're even going to talk about one today specifically, where it just right off the bat contradicts itself. And I just want to touch base on that for a second. Our goal here is not to bash any religion, any view, any belief. We respect whatever it is. It's probably not going to match up with mine. Mine are a little weird, but you know, it is what it is. We respect everybody. We love every single person that's liked and subscribed, man. We don't care what backgrounds you got. And that's something else that's so amazing. It's just the broad range of people that we've seen just in a little bit of time that we've been on here. And it's amazing. It already kind of starts to feel like a family a little bit. Starting to see some more communication from people. And that's the thing, man. Hit us up. Talk to us. Talk to other members. Talk to the people in there. We're looking at developing a Facebook page for y'all. Or a Facebook group page for you all. Just blending words together. A face group page. That's a brand new one, right? Trying to grow this as a little bit more of a community. A little bit more of a family. Us Haunt people got to stick together. Because the rest of the world looks at us like a bunch of crazy people sometimes. And I don't think any of us are. I think that we're just some sane people that are interested in some dark, twisted, fucked up shit. So anyways, that's enough of me babbling on. Okay? Last warning. There are some big names in here, and there are some big words in here. I'm going to try my best. I've looked up pronunciation guides for some of these, but I'm a West Virginia boy through and through. My grammar's not always the best, as you've probably already learned. My pronunciations aren't always the best, but I try very, very hard. So please be forgiving with me a little bit if I butcher some of these names. There is a lot of them, and I don't know what the fuck they were thinking back in Bible days when it came to naming people, but it's just nothing but consonants. Very few vowels. But anyways, moving on. Story of Lilith originates in the ancient East, where a wilderness spirit known as the Dark Maid appears in Sumerian myth. Another reference appears in a tablet from the 7th century BCE, found in Syria, which contains the inscription, "O flyer in a dark chamber, go away at once, O Lily." So Lilith makes her way into the Israelite tradition, possibly even into the Bible. Isaiah 34:14. Now, I'm going to read Isaiah 34:14 from the King James Version of the Bible, and what it has to say. So it says, "The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, the screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest." So it says that Isaiah 34:14 is the first true mention of Lilith in the Bible. And the part that what are you doing, computer, you silly thing? Bring Lilith back up. Stop that. Don't do that again. Fucking computers. Anyways, it says that the screech owl is actually a reference towards Lilith. And I guess you can see that a little bit where it says there at the end, find for herself a place of rest. The King James Version is, I guess, the one version of the Bible that most hardcore Christians are going to say is the version. That's insane, by the way, if you believe that. Excuse me, if maybe a little bit. That feels insane to me. It was translated by a secular king. It doesn't make sense that'd be the literal word of God. But a lot of Christians hold to that and everything like that. But the more translations that you get into with these, as far as the English Standard Version, the New American Standard Version, the New International Version, the Good News for Modern Men version, 100 different versions of the English Bible, they all begin to hint at Lilith more than what the King James Version does. The King James has the least exciting version of it, where it just talks about the screech owl, but that is supposed to be the only real, true, honest reference to Lilith in the traditional Bible that I was at least able to find. Isaiah 34:14. Again, it's describing an inhospitable wilderness. It tells us there's goat demons that greet each other. And there the Lilith shall find rest. That is obviously a different version than the King James Version. I'm not exactly sure what version of the Bible that is taken from. Some believe that this word, Lilith, is a reference to a night owl, obviously. Others say it is indeed a reference to the demon Lilith. A magical bowl from the 1st century CE, written in Hebrew, reads, "Designated is this bowl for the sealing of the house of this bar, that there flee from him the evil Lilith." Ancient images of Lilith, which show her hands bound, appear to be a form of visual magic for containing her. In the Talmud, Lilith becomes not only a spirit of darkness, but also a figure of uncontrolled sexuality. We're going to get into that a good bit, her absolute uncontrolled sexuality. The Babylonian Talmud says it is forbidden for a man to sleep alone in a house lest Lilith get a hold of him. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. This whole Lilith get a hold of him thing, it's very interesting. Lilith was fucking dudes in their sleep to gather their sperm to create demons. And at one point in time, people were so terrified of the aspect of a demon, little demon sex going on in your life, little demon cum, that these are the stories that they're coming up with. And some of the stuff that they do to try to protect themselves from it. And everything, it's something else. It's really something else as we dive a little deeper into it. I'm trying not to go down rabbit holes too early because I'm really excited about some of the stuff that we're going to get into. But that's it. Lilith is said to fertilize herself with male sperm, give birth to other demons. So we're going to start to get into some of the different stories as to Lilith, as to what happened with her and everything else. The first one is Lilith as an escaped wife. So in Genesis Rabbah, which is the Jewish version of the Bible, we encounter a brief midrash that claims that Adam has a first wife before Eve. This interpretation arises from two different creation stories of Genesis. And it's clear there are two different stories in whatever version of the Bible that you read, pretty clearly, that don't match up exactly. So in Genesis 1, man and woman are created at the same time. They're created from the dust of the earth at the same time, and that's it. When in Genesis 2, Adam precedes Eve. Eve is taken from a rib bone from Adam. Get out of here, Sheldon. And everything like that. Two completely different stories. Right off the bat, in whatever version of the Bible you read. So the tell that suggests that the first creation story is a different creation in which Adam has a wife made like him from the earth. For some reason, this marriage doesn't work out. Turns out it doesn't work out because Adam's a giant dick. But we'll get into that in a second. And so God makes Adam a second wife. What a nice God that is. He said, your first one didn't work out? I understand. I understand completely. No big deal. Look, I need you to go to sleep. All right, I'm just going to straight carve this one out of your rib bone, and we'll form her out of there. Because the whole sand and equality thing, you didn't like it, she didn't like it, and it's not like I'm going to put my foot down and be like, you guys should just be equals. We'll kick her out. We'll get her out of here. We'll get her out of here. We'll make you a new one. So that's where we are with Lilith right now. She's made from the sand. She's supposed to be equal with Adam. That all doesn't pan out. It really causes some problems. So, in the 9th or 10th century, clever collections of legends titled The Alphabet of Ben Sirah draws on earlier stories of Adam's wife and of Adam's coupling with demons, and spins an elaborate story in which Lilith is Adam's first wife. When the first man, Adam, saw that he was alone, God made for him a woman like himself from the earth. God called her name Lilith and brought her to Adam. Immediately, these two begin to quarrel. Why are they quarreling? What's the big beef? Why is it the first two human... And how fucking surprising is it that the first two human beings on planet Earth are immediately fighting with each other? I love people, but sometimes, man, you look at our species and you just go, what? What the fuck? What are we doing? The first two are at each other's throats. They have no reasons to be at each other's throats. They were just created, but it happens immediately. So what are they quarreling over? Adam said to her, "You lie beneath me." Lilith said, "Fuck that. You lie beneath me. We're both equal. We're both of the earth." And neither one of them would listen to the other. So what does that mean exactly? They were arguing the first, if you go with this, the first human argument in the history of mankind is what sexual position they were going to be in. She wanted to be on top. He wanted to be on top. Neither one of them could give in. And honestly, man, I think this is a real ding at Adam. You have this beautiful woman that God has created for you specifically. And now you want to argue with her about what sexual position you're going to be in, to the point that God has to kick her out and make a new one. How big of a dick are you that you are that inappreciative? And what does that say about man as a species sometimes, man? And I'm a man. I get it. Man, you have to be that in control, and you have to be that authoritative. If that's your mentality as a man, you might want to take a step back and look in the mirror. Think about life for a second, man, because there is no reason to be like that. I bet if Adam would have been willing to maybe be on the bottom, maybe he could have got the world's first BJ afterwards. And probably done a lot of other cool stuff, because Lilith seems like a really kinky bitch. And we're going to get into some of the other stuff that she has supposedly done. Like I said earlier, she's already, her whole persona is fucking guys in their sleep to take their sperm to make demons. Clearly, I don't even know what that shit is. Oh, that's some demon shit. That's some demon sex shit right there is what that is. But anyways, so that's her whole persona is fucking guys. What is wrong with you, Adam? Let her be on top. Let her be on the bottom. Let her be in doggy style. Whatever she wants, man. Whatever she wants. Why are you fighting that? Why is that the biggest beef you have? It's probably why you bit the apple later on. She probably got tired of dealing with your ass, because you sound like a dick in this story. So anyways. So Lilith doesn't want to be on the bottom. Adam doesn't want to be on the bottom. Because of this, their shit's not going to work. Somebody's got to go. As soon as Lilith saw this, she uttered the divine name, flew up in the air and fled. She gets the fuck out. So Adam, being the super cool guy he is, begins to pray before his creator, saying, "Oh, master of the universe, the woman left and I don't know why. I was super nice. I told her that she could be on the bottom. No, actually, I told her she would be on the bottom. And that I was better than her. And that I was superior to her. And she got really mad about it. And I don't understand. So God, instead of being like, hey, everything she was saying was right. You're being a giant dick right now. He doesn't do that. He goes with sending 3 angels. 3 angels to go capture this girl. He said to them, go bring back Lilith. If she wants to come, she shall come. If she doesn't want to come, don't bring her against her will. And we'll find out how little those angels gave a shit about his directions, because they go off and do their own thing. So the 3 angels went after her. They found her in the sea, the place where the Egyptians were destined to drown. There they grabbed her and didn't be like, hey, so look, here's the deal. God said if you want to come back, you can come back. All's forgiven. We're all good. It's kosher. You're definitely going to be on the bottom. You need to know that before you go. You're going to be on the bottom a lot. But if you want to come back, you can come back. If not, it's no biggie. God said do your own thing. That's not their strategy with this. They say, if you will go with us, well and good. We're all cool. But if not, we'll drown you in the sea. It's definitely not what God's instructions were. But you know how angels are. They do their own thing sometimes. So Lilith says to them, my friends, she's still being friendly at this point. My friends, I know God only created me to weaken infants when they are 8 days old. From the day a child is born until the 8th day, I have dominion over that child. And from the 8th day onward, I will have no more dominion over him if he is a boy, but if it is a girl, I will rule over her for 12 days. That said, we won't let you go. These are the angels talking now in response to what she said. They said, we won't let you go until you accept upon yourself that each day 100 of your children will die. And she accepts that, which I love my kids to death. I couldn't fathom one. This stuff happens, but I couldn't fathom one, let alone 100 a day. That is crazy. And but she accepts it. That's why there's supposedly 100 demons die every day. They would not leave her alone until she swore it to them. And in any place that I see you or your name in an amulet, I will have no dominion over that child as well. That was good with the angels. She leaves. She is Lilith, who weakens the children of men. So to kind of catch you up here as to what's going on right now. So Adam and Lilith are created out of the sand. They're equals, same people, same everything. They get into a big argument over what sex position they're going to be in. Lilith's kicked out. Or Lilith runs away, excuse me. 3 angels follow her. They make an agreement. They say, hey, look, so 100 demons are going to die a day because of this. That's your punishment for it. And we'll let you take infants. Boys up until 8 days, women or girls up until 12 days. And when that's all over, when that time's passed, then you're done with them. You can't do anything else with them now. But also, if there's an amulet that the children's wearing, you can't do anything with them either. Okay, so if there's an amulet and it's got our names on it, or your name on it, you gotta leave them alone. And also, we'll hear about this a little bit later, but apparently just a red ribbon was required there towards the end as well. So you didn't even have to have the amulet now. Now, if you just throw a red cloth over your baby, you're safe. You're all good. Lilith can't fuck with it. So, some believe this is a story as a serious attempt to explain the death of infants. SIDS is something we still battle even to this day. It's always just, it's horrible to lose a child, and everybody wants an answer. They want an explanation. What happened? Why did God do this? And they always want to be able to point the finger at maybe an evil entity or something not God related, and that's where Lilith comes in. That's I believe wholeheartedly part of the reason that her story is created, is to just explain that. What the fuck's happened with the kids? Why are the kids disappearing or dying? And it's just easier to blame it on Lilith than it is to figure out a logical explanation. So anyways, while some are convinced it's a humorous tale of sexual quarrels and unsuccessful angels, it is funny, man. It's really funny to think that the first 2 human beings immediately get into a fight about sex. That is something that's weird there. There goes that mouse. That's out of the shot now. Anyways, so, excuse me, lost my spot there for a second. The Lilith of this story confronts both Adam and God. Refuses a submissive sexual position, and good for her. Kudos to her, man. Fuck that shit. You be in whatever position you want, man. You should be in control of that stuff. I'm cool with whatever. I ain't got no preferences. Whatever she wants to do, I'm game. But anyways, just ends the marriage altogether. Says fuck all this shit. I want nothing to do with it. Altogether, preferring to become a demon rather than live under Adam's authority. And again, I applaud it, man. I really do. Don't be a victim. Don't let somebody control you, man. You control you. The only person that can control you is you, and you need to know that. And just not a lot to learn from demons, but if you can learn anything from a demon, I think this is a good value to learn, man. Respect yourself. Respect who you are, and be you. And only you, and don't let anybody else dictate who you are or what you do. Whether you're a missionary or you're on top, man, do you. And that's it. But anyways, defies God, ends the marriage. Um, everything like that. So Lilith flees to the Sea of Reed, the place where the Hebrews will one day go become free from slavery. In this version of Lilith's story, Lilith becomes what all tyrants fear, a person who is aware that she is enslaved. So another version, the version of Lilith's tale in the alphabet of Ben Sira, quickly spreads through Jewish life, and others expand on it. The Zohar, a mystical work from 12th century Spain, imagines Lilith not only as the first wife of Adam, but also as the wife of Satan. Lilith takes on cosmic powers. She is a chaotic counterpart to the feminine divine presence, the bride of the infinite. In fact, the Zohar imagines that while the Jews suffer in exile, the Holy One separates from all of that, consorts with Lilith. Lilith's sexual spiritual link with the divine will only end when the Messiah comes and the brokenness in the world is mended. So in folk Judaism, the primary myths about Lilith continue to identify her principally as a stealer of babies. Numerous amounts for pregnant women and babies from medieval through modern times use the three names of the angels mentioned in the alphabet of Ben Sira. I'm not even going to try and pronounce these angels' names. Look them up. Holy shit, there's a lot of S's. To ward away Lilith, such amulets may contain a circle with the names of Adam and Eve on the inside. Then on the outside is the name of Lilith. So even there, they're telling her, stay the fuck out of the family circle. We don't want nothing to do with you. You thought you were eating. That's really disappointing and kind of a knock. And again, not religious bashing. I'm not. But it's a knock at Christianity. It's a knock at the Bible. It is what it is. That attitude of man's better than woman, to the point that we're making amulets to show that. To show that Eve was accepted because Eve was submissive. Lilith wasn't because she wanted to be equal, and we've cast her outside of the whole circle. That's a load of bullshit, man. That's horrible. That's not how life works. You're equals. You're equals. You're equals. And if you don't like that, maybe this ain't the Facebook page for you. Maybe this ain't the place for you to be. Because I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe Trish is my equal. I don't believe she's underneath of me in any way, shape, or form. Nor do I believe she is above me in any way, shape, or form. Okay? It's equal playing field. We're both the same. It's one team working towards one goal. But anyways, that was my little rant for the day there. Moving on. Again, talks about the red ribbon being placed on the crib to ward off Lilith as well in case you don't have the amulet. Just find some red ribbon, man. It's fine. We don't care about this bitch anyways. All right, so Lilith and modern Jewish feminists. Modern period, today's day and age. To tell of the put-upon wife who flees to a place of liberation became a celebrated thing. Numerous modern Jewish poets and authors, female and male, wrote accounts of Lilith that used old stories to express new ideas. We're going to get into something real crazy here in a second. I can't wait. So, anyways, perhaps the best known of these new Lilith tales is The Coming of Lilith. In this feminist midrash, Lilith flees the garden because she is an uppity woman who doesn't want to be pushed by Adam or God. However, she misses female companionship. So Lilith befriends Eve, and Eve has been told that Lilith is a demon, but once the two women share their stories, they become allies and companions in the search for knowledge. Okay, sounds okay right now. They're just friends. Dame, in her poem Lilith, imagines Lilith as an internal bohemian who leaves Eden, drops in and out of men's sexual fantasies in the Middle Ages, and now lives with a cab driver in New Jersey where she cries in the bathroom as she remembers Eden and the man and the God I couldn't live with. So that's a different poem that doesn't really make much sense at all. I don't understand that one in the least. So you got one where she's kicked out and her and Eve are just friends. They just talk, they're just searching for knowledge. Another one, she marries a New Jersey cab driver and is just cries in the bathroom every night, remembering Adam and God and Eden. Another one, Lilith is made from the sky, Adam from the earth. In her love for Adam, Lilith chooses to forget that she came from the sky, and she actually becomes Eve, settled and happy, but ignorant of her own true nature. In this story, it's dramatized the struggle of women to love men while still loving themselves. I like this story a little bit just because it illustrates that you should not forget who you are. No matter what, you should remember who you are, where your origins came from. Don't change for nobody, man. That is the worst idea a human being can ever come up with. Either way, I'm gonna marry this person. I'm gonna change these few things about them, and I'm gonna make it all better. That shit never, ever, ever works. All you get is one person that feels beaten down, distraught, and destroyed, and another person that feels dominant. And that is not how marriage works. That's not how relationships work. Fuck marriage. That's not how relationships work. Period. You can't just beat somebody into submission, beat somebody into something they're not, to the point that they just forget who they are. Why have you even been with that person? What are you doing? What's your end goal with this? Doesn't make any sense to me. But we're getting close to my favorite one. On the other hand, there is another poem that imagines a lesbian encounter between Lilith and Eve. Check it out. How convenient. It's almost like we planned it, that the lesbian encounter would be going on right there. So that's Lilith, right there. That's Eve, all naked and whatnot. Looks pretty excited that Lilith's there holding the apple for her and stuff like that. So using this Lilith legend, it invents an origin story for the love between women. Lilith as a split-off sexual component of women, an image created by men fearful of a full relationship. He encourages men and women to see Lilith and Eve as the same person. And I thought about this one for a second, and the whole concept is fucking bonkers. So think about this for a second. You have the Garden of Eden, okay? You have God, the almighty God that just created the world, people, and everything to do with that. Can't keep track of the 3 fucking people he's created. Okay? So you're telling me God kicks Lilith out. Lilith sneaks back into the garden, guarded by angels. Alright? We haven't, I just talked about Garden of Eden and all, but if you dive in the Garden of Eden, there's angels guarding the entrance. Okay? So she sneaks past the angels, gets back into the garden, and then starts having some scissoring sex with Eve. Goes in there, she's fucking Eve. Adam doesn't know what's going on. Clearly, God doesn't know what's going on. There's lesbian sex going on in the Garden of Eden right away. It's craziness, man. It's absolute craziness. There's some demon scissoring going on in the Garden of Eden right away. Maybe. Hey, I wasn't there. I didn't get the invite. Didn't make the protocol. Maybe there was lesbian sex in the Garden of Eden. I don't know. I think some Lilith, I'm sorry Trish, but I think some Lilith and Eve lesbian sex would be kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie. I think that would be some badass shit to see go down right there. Check it out. Hey, that's just a little taste right there, right? It's some crazy stuff. I told you this one was gonna be different. I told you that, right? So you signed up. You're on board with this now, okay? You're a part of this. There's no getting out of it now, all right? We're knee deep into this shit. We're talking about lesbian sex in the Garden of Eden. I warned you at the beginning. I told you beforehand what was going to be, what we were going to talk about, what was coming. So I don't hear it. I don't hear it in the comments. I don't hear it in the email about, now you didn't say nothing about lesbian sex in the Garden of Eden. I sure did. I sure did at the beginning. I told you. Scissoring in the Garden of Eden happened. Maybe. Anyways. So Lilith has become such a popular figure. We're moving past the scissoring now. We're all past the lesbian sex. Lilith has become such a popular figure that whole enterprises are developed around this legend. There is a women's music concert called the Lilith Fair. There is a Jewish feminist journal called Lilith Magazine, both of them obviously named after her. So once a source of fear, Lilith has been transformed into an icon of freedom. And while some disapprove of the widespread embrace of a former demon, Lilith's rehabilitation makes sense. The frightening character of Lilith grew in part out of repression of sexuality, repression of the free impulse in woman, repression of the question, what is it I left all behind? As modern Jews begin to ask questions about sex, freedom, and choice more directly, Lilith becomes a complex representation of her own desires. We're going to move into Lilith the Vampire, but before we do that, that's right, Lilith the Vampire. Before we do that, we want to jump into our other segment, A Murder in Time. cool little jam to it, right? I like it. I like it. So, what happened statistically? On February 1st, serial killer Ted Bundy strikes again. I'm sure you all have heard of Ted Bundy. Some of the fucked up shit this guy did. So on this day in 1974, University of Washington student Linda Healy disappears from her apartment. She's killed by Ted Bundy. The murder marks Bundy's entry into the ranks of serial killers, as he had recently attacked his first victim, Sharon Clark, in her Seattle home. By the time he's finally captured on April 27th, 1979, Bundy had become America's most famous serial killer. We might come back and do just a whole episode on Ted Bundy at one point in time, because, man, this dude is fucked up. So in the summer of 1974, Bundy attacked at least 7 young women in Washington. Bundy's victims looked remarkably similar to each other. Nearly all of them had long, dark hair parted in the middle. Those who knew him said that he was very smart and personable. I've watched some of the interviews on this guy, man. He was a charmer. He was smart. He was intelligent. He knew what he was doing. You would have never looked at Ted Bundy and been like, oh yeah, that's definitely a serial killer. Nah, you'd have probably gotten his car. He'd have probably took you home and he'd have probably murdered the shit out of you. Because it's what he did. He was very, very good at it. He used his charm to pick up his victims. He also used a fake cast on his arm to appear less threatening. Man, you want to talk about somebody being smart and thinking ahead as to what it is that they're trying to do? Man, that's it right there. So by the fall of 1974, the disappearances of young women stopped in Washington and started in Utah. So after Bundy enrolled in law school in Salt Lake City, he later expanded his area of attack to Colorado. And on August 16th, 1975, he was arrested by police as he prowled a neighborhood in his Volkswagen. In Aspen, Bundy was charged with murder, but escaped out the window of the courthouse library. For 8 days, he eluded authorities on the outskirts of Aspen. When he was finally caught, Bundy was put into a jail cell, only to escape again. 2 times this motherfucker escapes. He escapes again on December 30th, 1977, while awaiting trial. Within 2 weeks, he had settled near Florida State University and began raping and killing more young women. This time, he didn't even bother trying to charm victims into his car. He's just grabbing people at this point. 2 weeks after a sorority house attack, Bundy raped... This one, it caught me off guard a little. I didn't realize the age on this one when I was studying it. I apologize, it caught me off guard for a second. 2 weeks after a sorority house attack, Bundy raped and strangled 12-year-old Kimberly Leach near Jacksonville. Days later, Bundy, this fucking asshole's arrested while driving a stolen Volkswagen. And fuck him. Man, don't fuck with kids, man. Don't be raping anybody. If you could take away anything from this, don't rape people. It's bad. Just don't do it. But definitely don't rape kids, man. What the fuck? If that's a thought process that runs through your mind at any point in time, that you would want to rape a child and you don't feel like you can control that urge, I don't support suicide at all. I think it's a bad thing. But in your case, in your specific case, if you're having those thoughts and impulses to the point that you don't think you can control them, I need you to get into your car and just floor it. Let go of the steering wheel, just hammer down as hard as you can, and whatever happens, happens. Because, man, fuck that shit, man. Don't be fucking with kids. That's unforgivable. 100%. It's unforgivable. I don't think there's a cure for that or anything like that, man. You're a sick fuck, and you need to go deal with that. But anyways, again, just a little rant there. Bundy defends himself at his own trial like a dumbass, but the evidence, including teeth marks on one of his victims, condemned him to a death sentence in Florida. Thank God, man. Fry this guy. For the next 10 years, Bundy filed appeal after appeal after appeal to avoid the electric chair. Thank God they were unsuccessful. He confesses to 36 fucking murders, and he was executed, thank God, on January 24th, 1989. Thousands of people came to cheer outside the Florida State Prison. I don't support public executions for the most part. I think that if somebody's done something worthy of that, that should be handled in private for the most part. I think a particular guy like Ted Bundy should have probably been quartered and drawn in front of the entire city. I think that would have probably sent the proper fucking message as to how shit like that will be dealt with. I ain't got no sympathy for people that fuck with kids, man. Fuck you. Fuck everything to do with you. If you have those thoughts, fuck you. Don't even listen to this shit. We don't want you here, man. Just get the fuck out, turn it off, Go somewhere else. Go fucking kill yourself. We don't want nothing to do with any of that. Bullshit, man. Straight bullshit to victimize children, man. They have no defenses. Anyways, we're done with Ted Bundy. We might come back to him at some point, though. A lot of interesting things about Mr. Ted Bundy. We might come back to him one day on down the road. A couple other things. Portuguese king and its heir was assassinated on February 1st. Actually, not that long ago. It's weird to talk about kings kind of in the modern era, but February 1st, 1908, King Carlos I of Portugal and his eldest son are assassinated by revolutionaries while riding in an open carriage, man. It's this buggy shit again. Quit riding around in fucking buggies. You're going to get murked. Maybe it was the Maguires that murked him. Maybe they got pissed off at him for something. Doubt it. But still, you never know. Open carriage. They clearly have an issue with fucking buggies. You don't know. So anyways, they get murked out in the streets of the Portuguese capital. And tragedy happened on February 1st as well. Not murder, but I couldn't pass up not mentioning this. 2003, the space shuttle Columbia breaks up while entering the atmosphere over Texas. Kills all 7 members on crew. Columbia's 28th space mission was originally scheduled on January 11th, 2001. Delayed numerous times. They try to launch on February 1st, and obviously complete disaster hits. That's a very sad story, and I just couldn't pass up talking about that one and paying a little respect to what happened there with those people. And that was a murder in time. So now, where are we at now? Back to Lilith, right? Lilith the vampire. So cultures around the world carry all types of tales of vampires, but not all fit the Dracula stereotype. The old count preying on young women. Well, that's terrible. It's nothing in comparison to Lilith, the queen and mother of these creatures of the dark. A combination of disturbing monster and ultimate seductress. She sucked the blood of men and caused diseases, miscarriages, made men sterile, erotic dreams. That does not seem like a bad thing. How the fuck did I throw diseases, miscarriages, being sterile, and erotic dreams and not catch myself? My bad. Erotic dreams would be a good thing. I'd be all fine. Again, I'm sorry, Trish, but Lilith the vampire gives me all the erotic dreams she wants. I ain't got no problem with that. And nightmares. So why the fuck I put erotic dreams right there? That's my bad. Anyways, she was also, if you've ever watched True Blood, then she was also the first vampire. Supposedly, according to True Blood, the series on HBO, I believe. I could be wrong on that, so don't murder me if I've got where First Blood came from. I'm not a big fan of True Blood. So, anyways, they said that she's the first vampire. So where does the vampire connection fully come into play? Well, Lilith's goal was to seduce men in the night, steal their sperm, produce more demon spawn. More demon fucking going on, man. You ever had a wet dream? You ever woke up, dick's kind of stuck to the side of your leg, and you're like, what the fuck happened last night? You got fucked by Lilith, is what happened. Lilith came by, she fucked the shit out of you, she stole your sperm, and now you got some demon seeds coming up. So, it is what it is. I've had a wet dream. I can confess that, whatever. I don't care. Everybody else has out there, so I've probably got some demon children running around somewhere. Thank God Satan's not looking for me for child support, because I can't afford none of that or anything like that. So, whatever my demon kids are out there doing, more power to them. I hope they're killing it. But anyways, sometimes she would just decide that she didn't want to do all that, and she'd just suck all the blood out of them for more strength, making her stronger, killing her victims once she was done. She's immortal because she didn't eat from the forbidden fruit of the garden, unlike Adam and Eve. And I bet Eve bit into that fucking apple because she couldn't deal with that dickhead Adam anymore, and she just wanted the fuck out. She wanted to go have some more lesbian sex with Lilith. She wanted to go hang out with the snake. This dick Adam has done nothing but talk about missionary positions since the day he was created. She wants the fuck out. She's biting the apple. She's going to go find Lilith. Fuck all that shit, man. And I'm with you, Eve. I'm with you. Go find your Lilith, man. Go be with her, because she seems way cooler than Adam, man. Adam seems like a complete douchebag in this story. But men believe that whenever they had these nocturnal emissions, coming in your sleep, in case you weren't familiar what nocturnal emissions meant. It means you jizzed while you were sleeping. Lilith had visited them. This cracks me up. Sometimes monks would sleep with their hands over their genitals while holding a crucifix in order to keep her away. How terrified are you of coming in your sleep, man? Holy shit. And what happens if you still came in your sleep with all that? Like, is that like a one-way ticket to hell if you come on a cross while you're sleeping? I feel like that's got to have some bad Jesus juju attached to it, man. That's something you're definitely going to have to explain at the pearly gates.
You're not supposed to spill your seed unless it's for procreation.
It's true. It's true. Excuse me, St. Peter? I'd like to come in, please. Okay. All right. We can see here you were a priest. That's good. That's good. Monk. Oh, my goodness, a monk. Wow. What is this about February 13th? You came on a cross that you put on your dick while you went to bed? Want to explain that one to me? You're not getting into heaven. You can't be coming on crosses and expect to get into heaven. It's not how that works. Anyways, similarly, it was said that the three angels God sent back to bring Lilith back to Adam made her promise not to touch anyone who had an amulet. Again, we've talked about that. Pregnant mothers would often wear these amulets, place them on the newborn children to shield them from Lilith's clutches. So unlike good old Count Dracula, that looks pretty much human, Lilith is often depicted with wings, talons, sometimes even a lion's head. I never found any of the lion's head pictures, but they are out there. In fact, it's only within the last few hundred years that artists have portrayed her as a beautiful woman. She is also associated with owls, jackals, deserts, snakes, and Lilith's powers are strongest during the waning of the moon. There are some other things about Lilith that's out there that we're not really going to dive into too much. We think we covered the crux of the story of who Lilith is. Hopefully we've brought a little knowledge to you as far as who this lady was and this demon is. And I have myself increased my knowledge of her so much. I'd heard about her. Didn't know much about her till we did this. And that's one of the things I love about this. It's not just trying to just share knowledge with you folks. I'm learning this shit myself. I didn't know all that stuff about Centrilla till I got into it. I didn't know any of this shit about Lilith until I got into it. And it is just amazing. Bloody Mary will be coming up next, I believe. No, I'm sorry. Mothman! I'm excited about Bloody Mary because we're going to try and summon that bitch. But anyways, Mothman. We're going to be coming up with Mothman next. A little shout out, a little homage to West Virginia. It's who we are. It's what we do. So we wanted to be able to do a little shout out to Mothman, what all goes on with him. That'll be the next episode. We truly hope that you enjoyed Centrilla Part 1 and Part 2. When we're filming this, we haven't even been to Centrilla yet, so I'm assuming that Part 2 went really well. I am assuming that we had a great time in Centrilla. I'm actually going to say we did. We did. We had a great time in Centrilla. I can feel it. I can sense it. I know it's going to be a killer time. Trish is probably going to kill us on a Polaris, but it's okay.
We did not visit the church.
And we did not visit the church. I called them today. They told me to fuck off in a super not polite way. But it is what it is. We're still going to take photographs of that shit. I don't give a shit, man. I'll drive right by on my Polaris. Ain't going to bother me none. A rude secretary. Anyways, we're going up there. We've been up there. You've already seen that. We did Lilith. Coming out Mothman next. We really, really hope you guys enjoy this. Please provide us with your feedback. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we can improve. Let us know what we can do better. That's how we learn. That's how we see things better, is with your all's comments. Like, share, subscribe, man. Word of mouth is the best way to spread this. And spread the love, man. Spread the haunt. Spread it out there everywhere. Tell them, man. You want to learn about some demon sex and some lesbian sex heading in the Garden of Eden, man? Check these crazy fools out. Thank you all so much. We love each and every one of you so, so much. Thank you for being a part of this family. Thank you for being a part of this community. We can't wait to see you again with Mothman. We also got the Haunted Farm coming up very, very shortly for the Valentine's haunt. That's right. We're coming at you with another haunted house review. It's coming shortly as soon as we go there. Check it out first. We'll come back at you, let you know exactly what the Haunted Farm's all about, what their Valentine's Day haunt was all about. But until then, until next time, don't miss us too much. We'll be coming back. All right, go get your demon sex on tonight. Maybe Lilith will come by. she'll fuck you tonight. Have a good night. See you soon.